If there was one thing you wanted to leave the listeners with, like one takeaway that you want to make sure they hear, what would it be?
There's a cure for cancer, and there is definitely life after cancer, even autoimmune disease. The Envita Medical Center is where I was treated. And I have been with Dr. Prada. He was 26 years old. I was already an entrepreneur and in business, and I realized that doctors are great at doctoring. And Dr. Dino's a creator, he's a scientist.
It's been decades since this treatment. So you had basically close to zero odds that you were going to survive 20
Yes,
plus years later. You're here talking to the
24.
audience.
I still meet with patients every week. I'm not an employee of Envita Medical Center. I believe I'm there to help assist the sick, to help stack the odds in their favor for their complete healing. And I've seen miracles from immune disease with Lyme disease. The Lyme infections, because the Lyme disease is what sped up my cancer as well. So you Guillain-Barré, Lyme, cancer. Envita Medical Center has saved 5 of my own close family members, my father, my sister, my niece, my sister-in-law, and myself. Just because it's not mainstream, just because it's not popular, does not mean it doesn't work. The medical system is built to make money. There's no money in a cure. And I learned that in 2001. This was a big business. And now I'm up against big pharma. And so when I realized, I said, well, so these treatments, these high-dose vitamin C, when you combine it with oxybate, you're stacking the odds. They've known about this since the 1930s. The scientist was given a Nobel Peace Prize. Why don't these hospitals do it? If it's curing people, if it's giving them that shot and that hope. But here's how insurance controlled everything. Insurance won't cover it. So what we did is at Envita during COVID is they hired a physicist. I spent millions of dollars. The guy spent 2.5 years building 6,000 CPT billable codes. So we launched the first ever innovative integrative healthcare plan last year with that covers every doctor. You have to get out of the network. Think of not the matrix. This is every doctor you can go see. If you want to go to Mayo, Sloan Kettering, it's covered. But also Envita Medical Center, which is deemed as centers of excellence because they have a 35 times greater outcomes with stage 4 patients than every other cancer center in North America. Wow. This is huge. So the world is changing. Now that RFK Jr. is in there, the world is going to become better in the health care space. I've been working with legislation in the state of Arizona. I'm working now with DC for all states to now we're going after Medicare, because when Medicare changes their verbiage and their laws, the rest of the insurance companies follow. And so we're working on changing the verbiage that these billable codes that Envita has proprietary over, they will be able to cover these. So people will not have to pay for their care that works. That's natural advanced technology that can heal them. They're curing stage 4 pancreatic cancer, stage 4 lung cancer, brain in 8 weeks, 12 weeks. This is unheard of in the 2.0. Think of it as a 2.0 medical model. That's our conventional, traditional. We need that. We need our surgeons. We need our emergency. We need our paramedics. We need all them. But you need a 3.0 for the internal, for the nutrition guide, for the advanced technology. You're not administering chemo as a poison. You're not just taking radiation. You can do it targeted. You can do more of it, rebuild your natural killer cells naturally. And that's like a army going after this little baby. So you can really stack the odds in your favor if you're in that 3.0 model. So that's my mission now, as God has moved me. I really believe I'm just a professional patient that has a story to tell, that I can relate to most people when they're in that tunnel, when they're in the grind of dealing with that disease in the body. But you can reset the immune system 100% of the time. You can reset it. We just got to get our minds out of the 2.0 system and be open to 3.0. And that's what I'm working to change in the US for sure. And eventually globally. God has it in my heart that this will be global. So I'm going with that.